Welcome to our first work from home webinar series for the Biata Institute for Entrepreneurship. We're going to start this week with Paris Graman and Rebecca Lee with Just Be Books, and hear a little bit from them about what's been happening, and we'll use this as an opportunity to share their story with everyone. Already have some content out there, interview content in written form, and we'll use this webinar as a way to hear from them about what's going on. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Melissa DeVere and Debbie Colbert Mataforo to handle the interview. And the floor is yours, guys.
Great, thank you, Chuck. So we're going to start out first by asking Paris and Rebecca to tell us about Just Be Books. How did you guys form? How did you come up with the idea? Just tell us about the very beginning.
Rebecca and I met about a year ago at Startup Fest. Before that, I had been working on Just Be for about 5 or 6 years. Here's one of our products. This is our first book out of a 6-book series, and it actually started out as a joke with one of my friends. We were doing little bedtime funny stories over text, and it only lasted a week or something like that. But this was one of the funny stories that I had made, and I was holding on to it. And I was like, oh, this is actually, I want to hold on to this one. It has a lot of good meaning. My sister had told me before, she said she was just talking about how nature just is, and it doesn't strive, it doesn't try very hard. It just is. And so I was really liked that idea. And I had been, during high school, been dealing with anxiety, suicidal thoughts, depression at a very quiet level that I didn't talk with anyone about. So that was always in the back of my head, and I liked that idea. So then throughout my years at Drexel as an undergrad, I had kept developing it as one of my many side projects. Once I had continued to be more integrated with the closed school in Biata, I applied for the entrepreneurship co-op, got that, and then had already been starting to work with Rebecca, and we were originally starting for her to do lesson plans. She's an education major at Temple, and she just kept adding into these amazing things. So I said, oh, well, we're going to do a photo shoot soon. And she said, I can take pictures. And, okay. And then, well, we might have to redo the illustrations. I can draw. Okay. And then, we kept doing these things, and she just was amazing and kept stepping into these beautiful roles. And then now she's my business partner. And so that was just amazing. That's my side of it. Rebecca, please add anything from your side too.
Yeah, I joined onto the project and kind of just found myself filling into these roles that needed to be filled. It kind of worked out really nicely, and we've been building a lot of products since then and a lot of different content, working with our advisor, Shannon Schweitzer, who is a school psychologist at Springside Chestnut Hill Academy. Obviously, we've had to pivot recently, which we'll talk about today.
So, Rebecca, what made you excited about working with Paris? What about her idea appealed to you?
Oh my gosh, everything about it. It's really awesome to see one of my high school art teachers on the call with me, because she experienced so many of my mental health challenges throughout high school, and then being able to apply that in a productive way, that I could combine my education experience in like my experience at St. Joe's and Temple with my experience with mental health and therapy, and then my art experience. Everything just kind of came together into a project that allowed me to help kids, which is my ultimate goal in life. I feel really lucky that all this fell into my lap, I guess.
That's great. And then tell us, how did you meet your mentor, Paris and Rebecca?
So our main mentor is Shannon Schweitzer. She's a school psychologist, like Rebecca said, at SCH Academy in Philadelphia. Also at Startup Fest, so this is probably fun for you guys to hear. When I was doing the same day I met Rebecca, I had met one of the advisors and the mentors for the CEL program at Springside Chestnut Hill Academy, and they are an entrepreneurship center at that school. I had met Jess, who was at the time part of a team. I started volunteering at their school. Some of her students were making books, and so I came in and became a mentor for a year at that school. And then later on, I was looking to do a partnership. She actually had left that role. So I now teach part-time 10th grade there to help fill in. So I got involved in that school that way. The first time I had visited the school to be a mentor, I got introduced to Shannon Schweitzer to work on our prototype of the book, which did not look like this. I have a couple prototypes here with me to show you guys if that comes up. That was really great. So she just kept being a part of it. She had all these business ideas. And at one point she was like, I don't know if I should be giving you all these ideas. I'm like, no, please do. And I'll give you all the credit. We could make you like your own. She was talking about keychains and all this kind of stuff. So she's been an awesome, awesome person. She has a heart for business, heart for kids, heart for therapy. So it's perfect.
Can you show us the prototypes right now?
Yeah, I have one of them at Biata, the original one, but I can show pictures too. I have those on my laptop. Here's one of the old ones. This was her original illustrations, and this was made at Springside Chestnut Hill Academy. So I got to go. They have a way to make kind of prototype books at their school. It's an amazing school. And then you can see the original illustrations. So I had shared that throughout the years at Drexel, I was slowly working on this project. I had met this guy, Luigi. This is his art. This was really cool. And then as we kept going, the art was a little bit of a different style. I asked him, Rebecca and I worked on it, and we were like, hey, would you, we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. We're learning from our customer research that a lighter style might be more appropriate for our age group. That's when Rebecca, she said, I can draw. And I'm, okay, let's do it. So this is a mix of a prototype. I taped on, this was actually for our photo shoot for our Kickstarter. This was what I had. So I taped on Rebecca's artwork on the front and inside. This is like version 2 of our prototype.
Can you just show us really quickly, just so people have a comparison who haven't seen the inside of the book, just show us some of the current illustrations and what it looks like now, the finished product?
Here's some of our the actual artwork. This is all Rebecca's artwork. And then at the back, we were able to turn some of it into a coloring page section, which now it lives on our website, so people during this time can just download. And
I can really see the difference in the illustrations. They are much lighter and much happier and much more geared to a younger audience. So can you tell me what you were doing prior to this whole COVID-19 situation?
We did our Kickstarter, and that was about the time that Rebecca started really stepping into the role as a business partner. We got 85 backers on our Kickstarter, raised over $4,000, and that was enough to make some of our plush toys, which I didn't show yet, Happy and Sad Albert Apple. And then we were able to raise all the money to print the first 250 books. And what we were doing, we're also, during that time, we started testing our online presence, our social media, building that up, building out our PR. And we also then were starting to make partnerships with local institutions like the Please Touch Museum here in Philadelphia, as well as some schools in the area. We were testing with 5 different schools by that point, and we were starting to think about how we could work with clinicians. As that would continue on, we planned to partner with larger organizations to make larger situations where once we got our full 6-book series out, we can do larger sales with school districts, clinicians' offices, and places like Please Touch Museum, and then local boutiques, and then additionally sell on our website in the meantime, and test those 2 avenues of B2B and B2C.
How has it changed?
Yeah,
You've been quarantined.
do you want to?
Everything has changed. So we just have to pivot and find the new niche that we need to fill, I think. We were going to be in these schools, our order forms were going to send out, and we were going to be at the Please Touch Museum, and I was absolutely devastated. And during that time, we were going to start writing our 2nd book, and we kind of adjusted and said, parents are turning to social media. Parents are turning to find more content. We want to be of service, be of a place where people can look to for that. So we kind of put the 2nd book on hold for a little bit. Obviously, with Pennsylvania schools now going online until the end of the school year, we can't do assemblies, we can't do any large groups readings. So we're focusing our content on online. So we've been doing a 20-day mental health challenge where we're putting out a different activity or a craft or a saying or something on our website or on our Instagram to promote positive mental health habits. It's been interesting because I've been very humbled by the experience, because I think we pivoted when we weren't very prepared for it, we jumped the gun a little bit, and that's on me because I was really excited to make Play-Doh, do the glitter jars, do all of these things that we've talked about with our advisor that have been very beneficial to kids, like sensory, tactile, anxiety reducing, all of these good things. But we've been learning that that's not what parents are looking for right now. We're in survival mode. Parents are just trying to get the online school done, trying to stay not stir crazy in their house. We've been talking more around like day 10 and day 11 in our challenge with more directly with parents about what they are looking for and what they want. They are saying that they want something more reminders. Like we did a reminder saying, call your grandparents, check in on them. We did a positive self-image one, like talk about 5 things that you like about yourself, demonstrate some positive mental health habits. We're learning that we need to fulfill the needs a little bit differently, I think.
How did you discover that? What was your line of communication with parents?
I think pairs, you brought up the first point, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not checking in with parents. I'm not even engaging with my customers as much as I should be.
Two things too. Rebecca was able to talk after I talked with some parents. Rebecca talked as well to some parents, and with the first one I talked about, I was talking. So I'm a part of a design research group here at Drexel, and we are doing weekly chats. And so I brought up this idea, and one of the parents, she has kids a little older than our age group. She said, "That's a nice idea, but no offense, I would not make a glitter jar with my family. We have too much crap going on. I'm too busy, blah, 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 blah." And so I asked her, she was willing to do a shorter interview after the call, like the week after. And I said, "Thank you for talking with me. You had an interesting take. Everyone else is being very nice and, is like, oh, this is a great idea. Awesome." But she had very real information. She said, "I like the heart of what you're doing. I'm too busy. My house is already a mess. I don't want to make more stuff, and I don't have time." She's like, "I feel kind of bad, but I don't have time to do this stuff with my kids, and I don't really want to do it." And she's a designer too, so she likes arts and crafts, right? But she's like, "I don't want to do these different things." She said, "I want things where, as a parent, we have hard workloads. Can you have the kids plan a dinner one week? Can you have a reminder to call family and integrate with things we already want to do more?" So she had really good hard feedback, and that's one of the things that I've had to learn. And Rebecca's done awesome. When she first joined, she said, "Your book's really good. Are you open to hearing feedback?" And it's like, okay, and the book changed so much. So that's been a good thing and a hard thing to swallow too, is like, let's talk with our feedback, or our people get feedback that we don't want to hear, but shift as we can. And then Rebecca talked with a parent, got some cool feedback as well, if you want to.
I mean, he's been supportive of Just Be for a while. They bought the book and everything. I always turn to him because he's a big mental health advocate. Like, he's been doing some of the activities with his daughter, but he's like hesitant to even talk about it with the parents that he's around because it's so survival mode right now that parents are looking towards those bigger organizations that they already trust, that they already have that communication with, that validation, that backing, because they don't want to try anything new right now, because why risk doing something that's not going to be worth it? So we just have to pivot and find the new niche that we need to fill.
Can you talk a little bit about how it's important to continue to think outside the box? I think you touched on that a little bit, Paris, by talking about just being open to feedback, but go ahead.
I think it's interesting to see even the first retail store that we got in. It's a store called Magical Child in Encinitas in California. They just opened up their website online a couple days ago, and they'd never been online before. And so I had reached out to her before we did the 20 challenge and said, "Hey, would you be wanting to be a partner with us?" She never responded back. She's got so much else on her plate. So we're a tiny fish in everyone's pond, and we haven't had the chance to prove ourselves and get trust yet, like Rebecca was saying. So it's an interesting place. I think that makes us just really tie in more with our partners and see how we can help them. And can we tap into the teachers that are already trying to think of more content for their kids and trying to interact with the parents, because they're the trusted ones. We haven't had that chance yet. If we can support them and be, Rebecca's used the word, how can we support people more? And I really appreciate that.
Another thing we've been trying to do is reach out to partnerships and people who have more of a following on social media. We use a lot of hashtags, and then we find a lot of random people just liking those hashtags that are under mental health or mental health for kids or something like that. So we've been in contact with a couple of psychologists, a couple of teachers, who are going to help us plan some more content for the next couple of weeks and collaborate more. So we can help promote each other's pages, hopefully gain some followers, some support from their followers, and do the same back to them. So we're trying to think outside the box, collaborate with their ideas, and help them hopefully too.
Why don't we do this now? I'm going to turn it over to Debbie. Debbie, you want to take over?
Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah Colbert Majufor. I'm the Assistant Director for the Beata Institute. I want to ask, you know how we built such a community in the Beata Institute? We depend on one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of this stay at home, how are you faring?
Man, it's hard. I love Beata. Beata is my home. I love Paris and Debbie and Chuck and everyone, every single person in it. And we talked so much about how it's a family, and it totally is. Not only that, it has such an energy that is it's a force of nature. It pushes you to try harder, to do more, to give yourself some support, to give others support. It is a supportive environment, but it is also like a kick butt environment. I really, really enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, it's been killing me being home. I mean, I'm obviously grateful for technology and what it's been allowing us to do, but I'm definitely feeling that lack of energy that I usually get from other people. It's weird because the energy that I'm feeling from my peers from like the social media is more of a pressure than it was in Beata, because I'm seeing what everyone else is doing and I'm like, oh my gosh, it feels like the world is on pause but on fast forward at the same time. It's a really weird thing to handle, and I think I'm still trying to find that balance of giving myself some relief and some grace, but also pushing myself as this is an opportunity. More people are looking on social media, more people are looking for things, so we need to move forward. It's been hard and interesting. I don't know if Paris has anything to add.
I think, well, I miss having the little moments where, you know, like one person's just like, guys, I can't, like, blah, blah, blah. And then there's just that humanness that we all see, like, we're all, like you guys have said, it's like a family. So I definitely feel like all the other people, entrepreneurs in Beata, are my siblings. And we have moments where it's like, oh my God, you know, it's like, oh, I can't believe they're doing that, or like, I miss them. You know, it's like all the mixed feelings you have with siblings. You just love them so much and all of their depths. And we have, you know, we do little card games. We all take breaks and do games at the office. And so that's definitely something that's missing out of community. Rebecca and I would do little journal sessions. We're a mental health company, so you have to imagine we do journal sessions together, and little, you know, like we both play instruments, so we'll, you know, go and do little breaks together. I miss that a lot. But overall, it's not the same. But yeah, there you go, Rebecca. Yeah, miss everyone.
Well, we certainly do miss you too. That's for sure.
Paris, Rebecca, thank you so much. This is awesome to hear your story and everything that you're doing. So stay
Thanks,
with it,
Chuck.
hang in there, and looking forward to hearing your progress. This is awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.